Good morning, everybody. We're going to start at the back edge of our mat. I'm just going to create a little more space for myself. And we're going to start with that little wide stance, little tap side to side. And I'm just going to start with a really easy arm swing. I'm going to wake up those shoulders, wake up those legs. Let's start with some nice full breath cycles. Big inhale, that rib cage expands. And a full exhale, your rib cage contracts. All right, so let's just go ahead and take those arms down and add a little shoulder roll, just up and back. We're gonna draw the belly button into the spine, keeping that strong connection. I'm gonna take this up a little bigger, a little more elbow, pulling back. Getting into that side body just a bit. And let's go ahead and extend that arm for a big backstroke, big swim back. Opening up through the shoulder, through the chest. And we're gonna take it forward. So just reverse those arms anytime, pulling it in. Keeping that nice inhale, full exhale. And I'm gonna bring it down to just that easy little kind of half shoulder, half elbow. And I'm going to take it back to that little side to side. Deepening that breath. Inhale, full exhale. I'm going to change this leg to a heel curl. Let's really pull that heel up to your hips. Nice and tall. Get a little warmth, getting a little movement going through our body. And I'm gonna bring this to a knee lift front and then take the arms up and over. As I lift that knee, I'm engaging my hip flexor, so right here in the front of the hip. The abdominals are active, and I'm taking this big up and over with those arms. Kind of waking up the shoulders. Waking up the lats. Keep it strong. Let's do 4, 3. Here's 2. And I'm going to bring it down. So just bring your arms in. Keep that little side to side. Shoulders down and back. Elbows are going to be close. I'm going to take a bob and weave. Get down and get up. Nice and tall. Bring it up. I'm going to add a little rotation and push across. Keep those abs pulled in tight, guys. Big reach. Big pull back. Now I'm going to take this reach overhead. Think about that lengthening out of the ribs, out of the side body. Up. Really tall, lengthen through that arm. Now I'm going to hold it on one side and take this little repeater knee, elbow to knee, pull it up and barely set it down, barely tap, or maybe see if you can do it without setting that foot down. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Take it back to your side to side. We're going to get that other side. So bring it over, lengthen, and take that little elbow to knee, engaging your balance. So foot and ankle stability here. Let's get 4, 3, 2, and bring it in. Taking that easy side to side. Woo, nice and tall, shoulders back. Now I'm just gonna rotate, turn, and I'm gonna take this little single knee, lower, and lift, lower and lift. So I'm sinking that back knee toward the floor. I want to make sure this front knee doesn't shoot past my toes. So we're going to add some arms. As I lower, my arms reach up. Keep that belly button drawn in tight. Think about this really vertical, down and up, string out of the top of your head. So if you're kind of pitching forward, try to keep it tall. Let's get 3, 2, and 1. Now I'm gonna sink this back heel into the floor and just rest my hands on this front thigh. Pressing through the heel, keeping my posture tall, keeping it lengthened. So if you're down here, see if we can bring it up a little more, engaging those muscles down your back, string out of the head, really tall. And go ahead and turn it back to the front. Take this easy side to side. So this is our transition move. And we're just gonna take and turn. So now we're set up for the other side, lower and lift. So getting that posture, that vertical line, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and that straight up and down. And when you're ready, we're gonna add the arms. So we're going to lower and lift, lower and lift. Really tall here, guys. Think about that posture, that knee doesn't shoot past the toe. Let's get a couple more of these. And bring it up. Sink that back heel into the floor. Nice and tall here, guys. Shoulders back. And let's go ahead and return it back to the front. And one more time, taking that little side to side. We're gonna take that little pivot one more time. We're gonna stretch a little differently through the back of the leg. All right, so I'm just gonna stop, pivot, and sit on down. Nice and tall, shoulders back. Now this time, I wanna bring the knee forward and then bring it back. So bring it up and bring it back. Now I'm trying to do this in a rather slow and controlled movement. And pull up and back. Pull up and back. Up and back. Let's get 2 more here. And back. This one might test your balance a little bit. Now I'm going to drag my foot in just a bit. My feet are still split, but I'm going to take my hands to my hips and kind of hinge forward and take this little sit back. I want to stretch through my right hamstring. So my right foot is in front. And I'm taking this lean. Now I want to keep my back really tall, so if you kind of round it over, lift up. Think about projecting your heart across the room. Your belly button is still drawn in tight, stretching those hamstrings. Bring it on up. Separate those feet, little side to side tap. We're going to take that pivot one more time. So pivot in, find your split stance. And we're going to take that slow, controlled knee up and back. Knee up and back. We're a little different on each side, so one side may feel a little better, may feel stronger. Reach. Scoop that belly. Engage those hip flexors, engage your core, your abs, your glutes. And let's get 2 more, guys. And bring it back. Now I'm going to step my foot in just a bit, hands to my hips, and I'm going to hinge at my hips as I bend this knee of my back foot, straightening my front leg, my left leg. So I'm leaning forward, stretching those hamstrings, keeping your posture really tall. Your back is nice and straight. Think about that heart projecting across the room. And let's take a big inhale as we come up and exhale back to front. Let's go ahead and grab our light weights. So if you have your light weights, you're gonna bring those in. If you don't have weights, you can mimic all of the movements that we're going to do. All right, so I've got little 5s here today. 2s, 3s, 5s, whatever you'd like. If you need to switch out in between, that's fine as well. So I'm gonna come and stand in a split stance. We're gonna get some plie squats. For this to set up, I've got my feet a little wider than shoulder hip distance, and I'm externally rotated at the hips, so my knees and toes are pointing off to the corners. So I'm just gonna take the shoulder blades up and back, and we're just gonna start with a really easy lower and lift. I'm just letting my weights hang in front, lower and lift, and here is where you can determine if your feet are in the right place for you. So lower and lift. Now let's add a little upright row. So down and pull. Not super high, just pull. So lower and pull. And I don't want to pitch forward on this. So again, that string out of the top of your head. Pull back. Here's 4, 3, 2. Now I'm going to turn the palms over and make it a biceps curl. So same legs and curl. Down and up. Nice and low as you feel. And down and up and down and up. Let's get 4 more. And up. 3 and up. Here's 2. Now bring it here and turn it elbows out. Now we're going to take it down and press. And press. So overhead press. Nice and tall, guys. Scoop your belly in. Keep that posture. A lot of reps for the legs, but that's okay. Here's 4 and 3. Here's 2. And last one. I'm going to bring this in and bring it down. I'm just going to rotate as we did before. So pivoting around, we're going to revisit that little dip. So I'm going to have my back heel off the floor. And we're just going to start with that easy lower and lift. Find your balance. Now I'm going to lead up with my thumbs. Little hammer curl and down and up and down and up and down. Now let's take this also to a straight lift, hammer curl. So alternating straight and hammer and straight and hammer. 2 more, guys. I think I gave myself an extra hammer. That's okay. And last one, bring it in. Shake it out a little bit. We're gonna go through it again. So starting off in that nice wide stance, shoulders back, weights in front. Start low and up. Adjusting the feet if you need. And let's add those upright rows. And pull. So as I come to the top, I want to think about a slight scapular retraction. I'm not super high with my weight. So even if you lift them about rib level, that's okay. Pull back, a little squeeze. And squeeze. Now, turn it over, palms up, and curl. Abs in tight, guys. Let's get 2 more right here. And I'm going to bring it up and around. We're going to go down and press. Keeping that belly button drawn in. String out of the top of your head, straight up and down. And big press. Whew. Give yourself 3 more. And bring it down. We're going to rotate 1 more time. So finding this split stance, my back heel is off the floor, shoulder blades down and back, hands easy by your side. Starting with your little lower lift. Add your hammer curl. Alternating straight arm with your hammer curl. Straight arms and hammer, and straight and hammer. 1 more of each, guys. And bring it in, shake it out. Give yourself that quick little release, foot and ankle, anything you feel like you need. We're going to take a little bit of an unsupported forward flexion. So if this bothers your back or your hamstrings, you can always bring one hand to support on your opposite calf or thigh, and we're going to do these extensions. Otherwise, we're going to do 2 sets, doubles, so you decide. So I'm going to take this slight hinge forward. My knees are bent here slightly, and I'm going to take this extension from my elbow. So I want to think about lifting that elbow up just above, pardon me, A little tickle just above my ribs, and you're extending through the elbow. No movement in the shoulder. We want to keep the shoulders stabilized. Lean back with your pinky. Think about pressing your heart forward. Little squeeze in that upper middle back. Kind of think about squeezing those elbows together as you take that extension. Woo, keep it going. 4, 3, 2. Last one. We're going to bring it up. Nice and tall, shoulders back. Now, I'm just going to take a little set in between. I like to give those muscles a little break while we practice other things. So I'm going to start with my elbows bent, and I'm going to place my weight in my left foot. We're going to take this little lift and lower. So bent arm, fly, lift, and lower. Now, I've got my right foot lightly touching the floor. Working on some balance, and if you can, lift that toe, maybe finding a focal point, fix your gaze, find your balance, set your foot down if you need. Keep it strong. Did I mention we're doing arms and shoulders today? I think I did. One more, guys, and take it down, in case that wasn't somewhat obvious. All right, so we're gonna get that other set, that second set of your triceps extension. So if you were single arm on that first set, switch to your other side, please. All right, standing tall. I'm gonna bend my knees, hinge forward at the hips, and lift my elbows just above my ribs, and extend. And extend. Think about really pulling your belly button to your spine here, guys. A little squeeze together with those elbows. So squeeze, squeeze. Keep it strong. Good inhale, good exhale. Let's get 4 more. 3, 2. Last one. And bring it up. Woo. Give yourself just a quick little release. Roll through those shoulders. If you need to give the hands just a quick little open and close, give yourself that break. We're going to stretch here in just a moment, just after this set. All right, so that second set of the flies, so bent arm flies, I'm going to shift my weight into this right foot, pop, hover your left foot, and start the flies. Just an easy up and down. Now I'm coming up at elbows about shoulder height. They don't have to go all the way up. They certainly don't need to go way up here. All right? If you're super strong and you would like them to go up there, that is totally your option. And when you're ready, if you're ready, lift that balancing foot. The other foot's your supporting foot. Stabilize, find a focal point. Let's get 3 more. And 2. Whew. And last one. Bring it down. We're going to set these weights down. I'm just going to bring them here, keep them handy. And I'm going to take a quick little stretch. So I'm going to reach out my palms, and I'm going to stretch my fingers back, opening up through the palms, the wrists, the forearms, just a little bit. And then I'm going to turn it the other way. So just bringing this down, and other side. Stretch, gently pulling those fingers back, feeling that nice little stretch here in your wrists and forearms, and the opposite. Some open and close, giving those hands that little break, but at the same time, this is actually kind of exercising those hands, getting them nice and strong. Now we're going to give the weights a little break. They're tired. All right, we are going to come to the back edge of our mat, and we're going to take a little walk into our downward facing dog. So let's go ahead, find the back edge of your mat. That wall is right down your back. We are going to inhale, and then exhale, peel. Nod the chin, scoop the belly, knees are soft, and we're just going to slide down to meet the floor. Before we walk, let's just take a couple of easy little lower. So I've got my knees on the outside of my elbows, sinking down into my heels, and then I'm just going to drive my tailbone up, coming into this forward fold. My low back is a little bit soft here. I'm going to do that a couple more times. So leaning into your fingertips, leaning into your hands to help you down into this crouching position. And let's lift. Do it one more time, please. Nice and tall in this crouching position. And if you'd like, you can even lift the hands and kind of balance here. I'm going to set my fingertips down, lean into my hands as I take my forward fold. I'm going to walk my hands closer to my feet and feel this stretch through the back of the legs. And I'm going to take a moment and pedal through the legs. Pop one knee, straighten the other. I'm going to let the head relax forward. Both heels down, fingertips touching the floor. We're going to take a walk. Nice and easy, slow and controlled. Take your time. Spread the weight through your hands and work on pressing your chest toward your feet. I'm going to continue to pedal through my legs. Now I want to distribute the weight through my hands. I'm not load bearing in my wrists. Pressing my chest toward my feet with each one of these little pedals. Now, both heels down. I'm going to take a double lift and lower. Double lift and lower. Spread the weight through your fingers, guys. Both heels sink and hold. Now, let's take a little shift forward into our plank and take a moment, hold it here. Now, if you need to drop to your knees, we're going to do some scapular push-ups. So I'm going to lower my ribs toward the floor, squeezing in my upper back, and then press away, lifting my ribs. So lower and lift. So think about that little shoulder blade squeeze. One more, please. Hold it at the top. And then lower with control, really slow, nice and easy. I'm going to let my legs reach out, and I'm going to bring my elbows forward. Coming up into a very small swan, stretching out through the front of my body here, lifting through the top of my head. Now, from here, slide your hands back just a bit, and we're going to press up a little taller, a little higher. Now, I've got my feet separated for this one, keeping my glutes active. I'm going to lower with control, elbows near my body, and I'm just going to shift my feet, press back to child's pose, stretching hips over heels. All right, so what I would like to do is to work between those two little movements, a little bit like a flow. So I'm going to let you kind of go at your own pace. So we're in our down dog, and I want to keep reaching my hands really far forward. I'm going to shift forward into my knees, lower with control, and then press up into my swan. Lower with control, press back into my child's pose. Forward, lower, lift, lower, and back. So just taking this at your own pace. You might find a little more height with each of those swans. And even if you don't, you might maybe find it's a little easier or maybe not quite as tight. And we'll get one more little flow here. Coming forward, lower down, up to swan, and lower. And we'll take it back to child's pose and hold it here. Allow your hands to come in. Take that little break, wrist rotations, flexion, extension. All right, pretty humid down here in my basement today, so I'm glad for sweat towels. We are going to bring this out into our tabletop, and we're going to press into our downward facing dog. All my words are gone. So from here, let's take a big inhale, looking ahead, and on the exhale, scoop your belly, round your spine, turn your toes, and press into our downward facing dog. And I'm gonna step my feet a little wider apart. You can always adjust this as we go. So I'm gonna press back into this downward facing dog. Nice, big forward fold here. Now I'm gonna bring my hands a little closer together. I'm gonna take my right hand and reach it toward my left knee, calf, or ankle. Getting a little twisty, looking under this arm. Bring it back in, replace it, and take it to your other side. Left hand to right leg. And bring it in. Switch. And switch. Spread the weight through that supporting hand. Let's get one more set, guys. Big reach and twist. Switch sides, last time. And from here, separate those hands, press back into your down dog, and then float it down to your knees for a quick little release. We're going to come back into our downward facing dog, and we're going to do these pike press push-ups or down dog push-ups. So the idea is that we are doing more of this overhead shoulder press. Doesn't have to be super deep, and the elbows are turned out on this one. So let's set this up. Tabletop, looking out, inhale, exhale, round, turn your toes, and press. So I'm going to keep my hands apart, and I want to think about this space between my hands. I'm going to lower and press. Now you can always bend your knees if you need that little bit of modification. Otherwise, legs fairly straight. Lower and press. Inhale down, exhale, press. Give yourself two more, guys. Press into that down dog and bring it to your knees. Let's take a moment, give ourselves this quick little release through the wrists and forearms. Let's get just a little movement for the shoulders. So I'm just gonna stay seated, hips over heels for this one. If you feel like you need to, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can sit on a block or a pillow and cross your legs in front. I'm gonna take my right hand to the floor, left side lean, circle, and up and over. So on this, I wanna take this nice side body lean, the arm circles to the front, side body lean, arm circles to the back. All right, so lean, circle front, lean, circle back. And bring it to the top. Let's take it the other direction. So I'm going to take that side lean. This arm circles front, lean, circle back. Scoot that belly in. Keep yourself supported. And one more, just because these feel kind of good. And bring it to the front. We'll just take a quick little stretch. All right, so we are going to come into a plank, and we're going to do these little single shoulder taps, also known as Macarenas. So we're going to start off on our hands, and I want to make sure that I'm distributing weight through the fingers. We're going to bring this out, shoulder blades down and back. Now you can always do this from your knees. All right, we are going to extend one leg, extend the other leg, and keep this really strong plank. So think about those glutes. If you'd like, you can separate your feet a little as well. Want to avoid the really big shifts. Here we go. We're going to tap and tap and tap. Keep that belly in. Keep it strong, guys. Give yourself 2 more each side. Back to center, knees down, and bring it back. Give yourself a quick little release. I'm just actually going to walk my hands back and open through the shoulders and the chest. All right, let's do another set of those. Just because, first set was practice. Now I found myself shifting quite a bit on my hips. So for the second set, we won't go quite as long, and I'm going to really focus on keeping that strong center, that core really stable, minimal shift. There's going to be some shift, but minimal shift. Here we go. So bring it out. Spread the weight through your fingers. Shoulder blades are down your backs. I'm going to extend, extend. I'm going to separate my feet just a bit. I'm going to keep this really strong, engaged core, and I'm going to tap, 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 tap. Working on minimal shift in my hips. Keep it strong, guys. There's 4, 3, here's 2, and I think that was my last one. Knees down. Take it to your child's pose. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to walk my hands back and lift through the heart, opening the shoulders and the chest. All right, good work, you guys. We are going to come out for our forearms, and we're just going to do just a quick little side to side, just getting just a little bit of that oblique work. So I'm going to slide this out into my forearms, and I'm going to walk one foot out and the other foot out. This time I'm going to have my feet a little closer together. I'm going to shift, shift, shift. So with this, maybe adjusting your feet after each one, because they're going to move around. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5. Here's 4, 3, 2. Back to center. Knees down and walk it back. Just giving yourself a little break. You guys are doing great. I know you are, because I know all of you. So I know you're doing all this strong work. Let's get a little more for these for the upper body, for these shoulders, for these arms. We are going to do a marching plank. So we'll start in the up and walk down to our forearms, then back up to our straight arms. So we are going to start off, and if you need to, again, you can go to your knees. All right, so I'm going to start off, think about those shoulder blades down your back. So really engaging that shoulder girdle. Spread the weight through your fingers and extend those legs. So I'm starting in the up position. Going down is a little easier. So we're going to go down, down, up, up. I like to alternate which arm I lead with. So next arm goes for me, and up, up. So down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. Let's get one more each side, guys. Down, up, and up. Last time. Down, down, and up, and up. Hold your plank. I know these are tough. Inhale, exhale, knees down. Take a break. Giving yourself those wrist rotations. You can use the floor even to turn your palms up. And if you're here, even try this little exercise. You're going palms up and just making a light fist. So coming into this and just curling those fingers in. It's kind of an odd sensation at first. All right, shake it out. We're gonna come to our hips. So we're gonna end it with just a little bit of tabletop. And I'm gonna bring my blocks in. If you have blocks, bring them nearby. If you would like to try a little pike press with the blocks. If not, that's okay. These just kind of add a little extra height. So from here, I'm going to start off with my feet about shoulder hip distance apart, shoulders back. And just like we were before with that little stretch for the shoulders, we're gonna set up similar to that. So I'm gonna lean back, I'm gonna find my hands on the floor. Now I turn my fingertips toward my hips. If this bothers your wrists, you can always turn the fingertips out. And if you have your blocks, you can bring your palms on the blocks and curl your fingertips over. That's a little easier on the hands. So whatever you choose, I'm going to start off with my heart lifting, pressing forward, and I'm just going to work on pressing my hips up into a tabletop. So really squeezing through my glutes, lifting tall, and this is pretty intense, opening on the shoulder. So if you need to, you can take it down a little bit lower, still pretty effective, what am I trying to say? Lift, and I'm going to lower with control. I'm gonna come forward, give those hands and wrists a little break. All right, so I'm gonna keep moving on. You can stick with that, or we are going to add a single leg lift. So I'm gonna lean back, walk my hands in, shoulders back, lift the heart. I'm gonna bring my feet in a little closer for this one. I'm going to lift. Now I'm gonna lift my left leg and reach, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. Let's lift and hold, bend the knee, and bring it down. I'm gonna shake out those wrists, and we'll do it again. So pressing the heart forward, shoulders back, feet closer together, and lift. Right foot, extend, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lift and hold, bend the knee. Woo, that hamstring is trying to go. Lift and bring it down. Shake it out. Now I know these are pretty intense on those wrists. We're gonna give a little break. Now here's where, if you have your blocks, bring them in. I'm gonna bring them outside of my hips. So I'm just turning mine long ways next to me, and I'm gonna bring my hands right on top of the block and let my fingers curl under. Now here, I can show you where I'm going with this. If you don't have blocks, I'll also explain that. So I'm going to lift, and then I'm gonna drive my hips through to the straight, and then bring it up. If you noticed, I had to adjust my feet just a little bit, and then bring it up. So with blocks or without. Now without, you just have to skim your booty along the floor. So you're going to lift and press back, and lift and press back. So I'm trying to keep a little bit of daylight under my booty and the floor, and press back, or almost like you could slide a sheet of paper underneath, and back. One more, guys, and press, set your hips down. Woo, shake out those wrists. Those can get a little tough. I'm gonna take some easy wrist rotations. And sitting with your legs straight out in front, nice and tall. I wanna think about my shoulders and chest back. So I'm just gonna bring my hands down by my side and work on lifting through the heart, opening across the chest, slightly retracting my scapula. I'm gonna inhale and then exhale, slide forward, working on keeping a straighter back. So it might not be a big forward fold. That's okay. I'm gonna lean. You're gonna feel some intensity through the hips, the glutes, the low back probably also. Working on keeping that straight back. Continue pressing forward, and your hands might be able to walk forward with you just a bit. If you're still kind of back here, focus on that lean and that tall posture. We're gonna get just a couple more breath cycles here. Big inhale, and exhale into your fold. Now I'm shifting my hips. I feel like as I do, I kind of adjust the extra that's underneath. so that I can take that little lean a bit further. Take one more breath cycle here. We'll inhale and then exhale. Go ahead and melt forward. Bringing this up nice and tall, shoulders back. Now I'm just going to come to sit cross-legged. We are done with our conditioning part, so we're just going to take a quick little release, little shoulder stretch. So I'm going to start with just an easy posterior deltoid stretch, back of the shoulder. And I don't want to cram this arm in. I'm just gently helping the stretch through the back of my shoulder. And I'm going to take this little side body lean. We got some of this earlier. And I want to think about this stretch down my side body into my hip, trying to keep this outside leg grounded. So just sitting cross-legged comfortably, try to keep that outside leg grounded. And we're going to bring it up, other side, posterior deltoid. Try to keep the shoulder down. So if you feel like your shoulder's up by your ears, lower. And it might not go quite as far across, that's okay. Take this arm up and over, side body stretch, keeping that outside leg down. And bring it in. Now take this one arm, I'm doing my left arm, I don't know why. I usually start with my right. We're gonna take it into our tricep stretch, lifting tall, shoulder blades down your back. This one should not force your neck forward. So think about keeping that nice tall posture, that level chin. Now I'm going to reach my other arm around, reaching in the direction of the fingers, my left fingers. And unwind. Let's take the new arm. So this is my right arm, lifting tall, and you kind of have to work to sit up. Now if you are working really hard to sit up tall, you can sit on a block or you can sit on a pillow. That might make it a little easier. And we're going to take this new arm around, reaching, fingertips touching, maybe. And let's just take that little grapevine, just that little rotating grapevine. So one arm and the other arm. Here, take this watch off. So just switching your little grapevine reach. And bring both arms to the top. Interlace your fingers. Push out those palms and think about reaching out of that upper middle back. I'm scooping my belly and kind of leaning into this. So thinking about that hollow body scoop. Big press. And palms up. We'll inhale, open, chest open, thumbs back. Turn it, palms all the way up, thumbs in, and press the thumbs together. Easy little shoulder rolls. I'm going to come to the ball of the foot. Sinking your weight to your heels, sitting up nice and tall. You can bring your hands to your thighs to balance. Think about that string lifting out of the top of your head. Now I'm just going to press into my thighs to stand. You can always unfold and come to stand. We're going to take a big inhale. And exhale. Thank you guys. That was our conditioning portion of class. Stick around for flexibility.